It feels good to be back in the shop, and today I'm going to be talking about the Witter Brick more. I opened up the 4 boxes that we got at the fun show already. You've seen the video, and you'll obviously like it when I lose money because it's gotten 3,000 views in 24 hours. So today we're going to talk about my overall review of the Witter Brick. And before we get started, there is going to be a giveaway later on in the video of what's become longer video than I actually wanted it to be, so I apologize for that. But there's a lot to be said, and I do ramble a little bit. So keep an eye out for that giveaway opportunity because it is kind of neat. First of all, I want to mention a few things about Witter Coin. I don't want people to think that I dislike Witter Coin just because I didn't do well in pulling in those boxes. Seth Chandler, the owner of Witter, is a fantastic numismatist. He knows what he's doing. He has a fantastic eye for coins. And Witter's doing a lot of really good stuff. They have a program called Witter University where young numismatists can go to Witter over the summer and learn about coins and really learn about quality in coins. The people I've met that have come out of Witter University know what they're doing with coins. They're fantastic at grading. So it's an impressive program they have at Witter University, and I'm happy that's there, and I really respect Witter for putting that on. Also, Witter overall has some really high quality stuff, and their general stuff is, based on market value. They do Whatnot auctions where stuff will be selling on there. I've picked up a few things from their Whatnot myself that I got a good deal on. So overall, as a coin shop, I don't have anything against Witter. Another thing I like about Witter is that they focus on quality in coins and value in what you purchase. And whenever you look on Instagram, you'll find plenty of videos where Seth is talking about really the value that you get out of purchasing a coin. I watched a video just a few days ago where there was somebody who was younger who works at his shop, and he was semi-chastising him on Instagram because the kid wanted to buy like a $1,200 coin, this gold $5, and Seth was telling him you can get something far more interesting for a few $100s more that is way more interesting, better date, better grade, whatever it is, and was encouraging to do something that I encourage collectors to do as well, which is really save for that piece that's exceptional. And that mentality is something I appreciate about Seth Chandler and Witter, where they're really trying to focus on value and teach people to collect good stuff that's worth them spending their money on instead of just going for the first coin that's available. And when it comes to Witter Brick, the first one they did last year in 2024 was actually pretty decent overall. It had a base value that you would get at least 70% of your value back out of the box, guaranteed. So even if you got a bad pull, it was still pretty good value return. And there was some pretty good chase coins you could get out of it. There was some kind of weird stuff that happened there where somebody who bought the lowest tier box got the highest value coin out of it, so that was kind of different. And they did try and fix some of that stuff. But nonetheless, the Witter Brick as it was last year was pretty awesome, and something that I honestly, even though I don't normally buy this stuff, if I'm only risking about 30% loss, I could have some fun with that. That's not that bad, and I might actually change my mind and consider buying one. But the problem this year was they took that away. That's what really made this a very different outlook and experience from what we saw with the 2024 Witter Brick. But from what I've heard, they basically put it up to a forum vote so that people could go online and vote on what they wanted to see in the 2025 Witter Brick, the first release. And they put it up to a vote. Do you want to have a base value where you're guaranteed to have a certain amount of money back in the box, a certain percentage of your value, versus just have it wide open so that you can just get whatever you get, but there's a good chance somebody could draw some amazing, crazy boxes, and some people can draw some absolutely garbage boxes. And for some reason, everybody decided to vote to have it wide open, no floor. From seeing the comments on my video where I didn't even really go into depth about this, I just said this is what we got and this is what we paid. I think that was a misstep for Witter. As I said, they really focus on quality and value in what you buy, and buying a coin at the right price, buying quality at the right price. And having a 70% floor made sense for that, where they're saying, hey, we're going to guarantee you get part of your money back at least. There's solid stuff in here. That made sense to me for Witter. I didn't know when I got in line that they didn't have that 70% floor to it, or at least some floor value for the boxes. It wasn't until I was standing in line talking to a guy about it, and we asked one of the Witter employees, hey, that's still a thing, right? And he told us it wasn't. That's the point at which I realized, oh, that's different. That could mean these are really not good or amazing. It really kind of changed the game, because while I was standing in line, I was like, I've got some extra money in my pocket. I might do what I tell people I don't ever do, and I might actually just have some fun with it and pick up another one just for me that I could open up as well that wasn't the shop's. But it was when he told me they didn't have that floor, that's when I changed my mind, because at that point, literally, I'm risking the whole amount of money. I'm not risking just a little bit. I'm risking practically it all, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes. I feel like that was kind of a misstep for the perception of the Witter Brick. It was a big gamble, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It was a big gamble with some potentially big losses, depending on how many boxes you got, which boxes you got, which coins you pulled. So I feel for a company that really is focused on value and quality and what you buy, that their choice to make it everyone else's choice, whether there should be a floor value to those boxes, was just maybe not a good idea. And looking at the comment section of my unboxing video, I think a lot of other people would agree. Now let's take a minute to look at some numbers and run statistics on Witter Brick and see if it's really a good deal for collectors. One of the metrics I use is looking at the overall gross sales value of the items. How much are they charging per box and how many boxes are there? And in this case, it was about $2.44 million rounded. Is what Witter Brick charged, but the retail value of the coins was about $2.27 million. And that might sound like a big gap, but it's really not. It's only about 7.5%, which in my opinion is probably not that big of a difference. Remember, they have a lot of logistics going into making these boxes. You have to have packaging. There's a lot of promotional stuff going on. There's a lot of time and energy and effort involved in making these boxes. So I would not expect a company to charge a strict retail number for the boxes, because they would be cutting into the margin they actually make in any capacity. They probably wouldn't make any money. So the margin it seems that they have built into this box is from the value of the coins overall. There are 4,706 coins in this box lot, so for me to go through and check CMG for every single coin would be a nightmare. I'm not doing that, and the ones I have checked have seemed close enough and realistic in their value. So I accept what they've put down. Some were high, some were low, but it seemed to average out to pretty darn accurate. The regular Witter box was $500, and you were guaranteed to receive at least 2 coins in the box. The Prestige box was $1,500, and you were guaranteed 2 coins in that box as well. I think they might add an additional one in some of them. That's why they say at least 2. And the highest box tier, the player's box, was $7,500, and it was a guarantee of 3 coins in that box. And Witter was very clear about the top coins that were available in these tiers. So the top 10 coins were published for each of these tiers by Witter, and they ranged from $50,000 to $8,000 for the player's box. It was like $24,000 all the way down to $7,000 in value for the Prestige box, and the top 10 were between $24,000 and $5,000 in the regular Witter Brick, which, if you think about it, that means there's a $24,000 coin in a box someone paid $500 for, which in my mind is actually pretty spectacular. They do have some really high value stuff you could get. The win, the big win, even some of the middle wins are just phenomenal. It's not just some little, oh, congratulations, you spent $400, you get 2,000. Like, that's child's play compared to what their wins are on Witter Brick for this particular box set. The problem comes down to that top value stuff is not common for each of these tiers. Remember, they have to make money. They can't give everybody a coin that's worth more than what they paid, or else they're going to lose. So when you get into stuff like these super high, really rare coins, is the top chase coins, and having still some solid coins in the middle, you really cut down the amount of money that you can put into the lower value stuff. So yes, they built a thing where the chase coins were phenomenal and absolutely amazing, But they had to cut it somewhere because they can't afford to sit there and make everything a decent coin if that's what they have. That's the difficulty with these box pulls. You're going to have low value stuff that's going to offset the cost of that high value stuff so that it evens out to, if they're a good company, a retail value, which it seems like Witter was pretty darn close to that. So what was the lowest value coin that Witter had on their offering here? Well, by their estimate, it was worth $0, and I don't disagree. Yeah, sure, it might show up in a bargain bin at a coin dealer for like $5, but they have 1949D 1 cent in wheat cents in red brown, like a 1938 in brown as well, 49 in red brown. Those are in like the 60 cent, 70 cent range, but they're realistically not valuable coins. In general, the market usually prices those slabs at like $4 or $5, but nonetheless, they're just kind of a junk slab, and it's junk in a slab. It's a common coin. There's no real value to it. Yeah, so those exist in this particular Witter brick, and I think that's important to take note of, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But you know, they do have a considerable amount of coins going up to the $25 mark. Like, I'm scrolling up a decent amount just to get up to $25. And then it's another really long scroll until I get to $100 value. So that's a lot of coins that have not a lot of value to them. Remember, because if we'd have to pull like the equivalent of like two $250 coins to break even on at a retail value on the lower tier box, to get to even a $200 value, we're over halfway up the page, and this page is stacked. Like, there's 4,000 coins listed individually on this page. It's crazy. And we have to just keep on scrolling to even get to that $500 mark, which is the value of the first box for one coin. Remember, there's 2 in each box, but still. So there's a lot of lower value stuff here. It's not just your typical stuff all the time. There's some commemoratives I'm looking at here, seated stuff, you know, that kind of thing, but still, they're not high value coins. And for us to really get up into the value of a coin being about $500, we are considerably high up on the page. It's not a lot of stuff that's going to really cap that $500 range in this lot. It's probably, looks like, from just guesstimating on my really long computer screen, that we're probably about, I would say, 30% from the top, 25% from the top. So it looks to me like 75% of the stuff, probably a rough estimate, fell below the $500 mark. So I'm editing the video now, and I did try counting for a little bit to see how many coins were over $500, and I about lost my mind when I had to keep recounting because I would miss one when I was scrolling. So anyway, using a ruler, I was able to kind of guesstimate that it is less than 25% of the coins are going to be over $500. So just to give some perspective, because remember, the base value of the low tier is 500, and the other ones are going to be 1,500 and 7,500. So 500 for the low tier might be, you know, fantastic because you have another coin you're pulling as well. But for the middle tier and high tier, 500 is not getting you very far. But let's take a look at what they actually have real quick on the higher stuff. And we can see there are a decent number of $500, $600 coins. Scrolling as fast as I can. So we're in the 700s, 800s, 900s, and finally we're at 1,000, and we are getting close to the top, but not completely. A lot of them do hang out in that $1,000 range, and they've got some really interesting stuff here. I mean, look, they've got an Isabella in 65 plus CAC because it is a CAC slab, and they do have numerous gorgeous. I mean, Lewis and Clark Expo, gold $1. I mean, we're talking some really cool stuff here. 73 close 3 proof 2 cent. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, there's some cool stuff. And when we get to the top here, it's a lot of coins that are high value, so it eats into the amount of money they can put into the lower value stuff. So the spread of what you can get really runs the spectrum when you're going from $50,000 all the way down to the floor of practically nothing. I could calculate that based on counting all of thousands of coins here, but I would rather just do a rough estimate here and show you a picture so you can kind of see for yourself that that's kind of where it falls. Now, beyond this, I really can't run that many statistics. It gets complicated there, because instead of telling you which coins are going to go into which box, like which category of lump of coins are getting mixed up into this particular box, it's pretty much, these are the 10 that will be in this box, these are the top 10 will be in this box, these are the top 10 will be in this box, and everything else is up in the air. So, I don't know. Running statistics on that's practically impossible, because any of those other coins could get into any of those boxes in the tier that they're able to be in. Because for the regular Witter Brick, you're not guaranteed any particular coin to be in a specific brick. There's going to be at least one gold label or one silver label coin in each of the prestige boxes, and it tells us that there's at least one gold label in each of the players' boxes. So it doesn't even narrow down that there's going to be just silver labels in the players' box for $7,500. That's I don't know if there are green labels that got into those or not. If there are, that's just... Ugh. Anyway, so not telling us what goes into what, and it all just being like this big gamble of everything kind of goes where they want it to go, we can't run statistics to say 75% of people lost money or, whatever. We can't look at who won, who broke even, and who lost, because there's no defined numbers. I don't like that. I really don't. I like to be able to look at my odds ahead of time and say, hey, what are my chances of winning? And when you don't have the ability to look at actual odds per box, per item purchased, I think that's problematic for collectors, because you don't know what you could get. Even getting a silver label tier coin in this whole thing doesn't mean you've gotten something that really helps you get to the value that you have in the box, obviously. It's complicated. There are some, and the tiers are kind of weird. There are some silver label coins that are lower than some of the green labels. There are some silver labels that are up in the middle of the gold labels. I don't really know how they determined what was a silver and gold tier coin, and why some of them kind of flip-flop in value back and forth on their published values. But that is a thing. I had glanced through the list and saw that there was some low-value stuff in there on the way up there. And I was like, this is kind of weird. Maybe they're going to like kind of bump some of the boxes with like a third coin with some of these low value coins. I didn't do the numbers. I didn't look at it because there was a lot going on. But this, I know some of y'all like Ike dollars. That's fine. But realistically, a 66 CAC Ike dollar, a 76S, the fact this was the first thing we got out of the box, that's why we just cracked up. Because it's a really, really, really common coin. It's supposedly hand-picked. A hand-picked 66 Ike dollar by Seth Chandler. Exciting. This 81S and a 65. It is a pretty 81S. I have to give it that. It's a really pretty 65. I give it that. That one, I can believe that was hand-picked from a lot of them, and in that 65 range was a really pretty example. This guy, the 23 in a 64, not only a common coin and a really common grade, but spotted on the obverse and on the reverse. It's just, I mean, I know that shows originality. I'm sure that came from its environment it was sitting in, but it just detracts from the coin. It doesn't add to the coin. It detracts from it. So do I like it as a 64? I mean, it looks like a 64, but it's not pretty. So hand-picked, I think he could have handpicked a little bit better on that one. This 61 Morgan and an 81, I mean, that's... who handpicks that chattery of a Morgan on a common date? I don't know. The idea that these were hand-picked, hand-selected for quality, that they've advertised not only on the website, on the Instagram, on the little packaging sheets they put in the box, they say that as well. So far, it's not rung as true to me as I expected. Now this 65 here, 65 CAC on the 23, it's a pretty coin for a 65 CAC. And looking closer at this 66 CAC, I almost feel like in hand, yeah, this one's got more luster to it, the 66, but in hand, when it comes to marks and stuff like that, they're practically identical. The one coin I think that really is gorgeous for the grade is this 89.0 that was in the one we pulled at the actual fun show. It's got a mark on the cheek that really holds it back from being probably a 5. That mark is pretty strong, but apart from that, it's spectacular looking. Morgan, that one I can believe hand selected because it's really pretty. It's got nice fields. It's got a good look to it for a 64. And I can see why that one was hand selected. The GSA, I mean, it's a good looking GSA. It's just got some cheek chatter. Nice. It's even got a little bit of frostiness, a little bit of cameo-ness to it. It's not a bad looking coin. It's not quite a 3 from some of that chattery, but it is still a really nice 62 plus. There are some amazing coins that could have been pulled out of these boxes. And some people got some amazing things when they opened them or are about to open them, because I'm sure a lot of them are still in the USPS or FedEx system and on their way to the buyers. But I really don't feel like for us it lived up to expectation. The fact that there was an Ike dollar in there in a box that we paid $500 for, very common grade. I mean, that just kind of feels like a joke, and that's why we laughed our butts off. The fact that there are other coins that are even worse than that, that's not as bad as it could get. I don't think people realized, like, when they watched the video and they were saying that's terrible, it could have been a lot worse. And since there's no floor, I have the question of what's the lowest value that a box actually was? Did somebody get 2 of these so common coins that they didn't even have a value assigned to them? Is that possible? Because without anything of, oh yeah, we're going to guarantee at least one of the coins is decent, or the other one might be complete trash, all these low value coins over here in the bottom, they are realistically could be paired together in a box. I don't even know. It would be a very draconian building of the box, but without knowing and with seeing those on there, it seems like that's a possibility. I don't know. I would love to hear Witter tell us, like, what's the least you could get in these boxes? Because with a no floor answer and seeing that stuff, the floor seems like it's pretty much like bedrock in my mind. I don't know. The lowest we've seen is a 190 with the guy who was in front of me in line and got the first box that Witter offered at the show. We've seen that same where it's just right under. We got a 190, I think, as well, where it was just right under $200. It's over a 60% loss. Okay, so that's significant right there. And you know, most of the ones that we got were in that range of about a 60% loss, except for the one good box pull we got where it was a double up, but it wasn't on the highest value box, so that double up did not make up for the amount of money we spent. So yeah, we ended up with realistically what we're going to end up realizing of about a 43 to 45% loss on these coins. But to give some justification for why I expected more, it says right here on their website that these were handpicked, thoughtfully curated to enhance your collection. And it says to experience the unique Witter way of building your collection. But with what we pulled out of the box, I feel like I would have done better with the Littleton coin way of building my collection. Our pulls were horrible and we lost a crazy amount of realistic market value. Okay, it's giveaway time. And for this giveaway, all you have to do is comment below. You can comment about Witter, you can comment about Witter Brick, you can comment about your dog's name, what you think about my hair or whatever's left of it. I really don't care. You can say you like aspirin with your pizza. But a random comment will be selected on January the 25th, and I will publish it in a video on January the 25th. So that way you will know that you've won or not. The winner of this giveaway is going to get a couple of things. First of all, you're going to get the 4 empty Witter Bricks. that we got with these coins. And you think that sounds stupid, but they're actually really nice 10-coin storage boxes, and they fit CAC slabs, so they'll fit anything. That way you can put a common grade Ike, Dollar, and Morgan in one of these and pretend like you got a Witter Brick too.
He ain't lying.
And I'm also going to put a 1 ounce silver round in one of the boxes so that when you get it, you have a full ounce of silver and 4 coin storage boxes for slabs, and it will fit, as I said, any slab. So comment below, and I look forward to reading. I thought last year's offering was pretty decent, and I didn't have that much problem with it. As I've said before, I don't really buy this kind of stuff. The gimmicky, you have a chance to win this, but you could get this instead. You lose money potentially, most likely, but you could get something really amazing. I don't do that. I would rather buy a coin that I really want and spend that money investing in something that's going to have longevity and value, and that I buy at a fair price to begin with, and then it goes up, hopefully, over time. I don't like taking that kind of gamble. As I said, I did think about buying one because it was a small loss if I did pull something bad, but I decided not to because of that lack of a floor, and that was more of a thing of seeing it kind of like instead of going to a casino or, whatever, I thought it would be kind of a fun thing to do, but that really killed it for me, that whole lack of a floor thing. I don't find it exciting that you can open up a box and lose a large percentage of your money that you invested. I don't think that's exciting. I think what's exciting is where you get value out into something that is interesting and different, or something that's quality, and you have a chance to maybe lose a little bit, but possibly get something that's just absolutely amazing. That's exciting, where you're like, didn't quite get the big one, but hey, this is a cool coin. That's exciting. Drawing an Ike dollar out of a box you paid $500 for with a common date Morgan to follow it is not exciting. It's not. It's honestly just, it feels very, as I used in the last video, uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. So I would love to see Witter change that for the next one and not give the community all their degenerate gamblers who are following them, who want no floor on it and $25,000 boxes. I'd love to see them not give them a chance to do that again and put a floor back on it, in my opinion. And I think from the response I've gotten from the comments where people have been ragging on this, and I've been defending Witter in that. I've been like, hold up now, you might not like it, but chill out. This is how it happened. I feel like the overall collecting community would see this more favorably if they did that. There's already a stigma with mystery boxes that they are a gimmick. I'm not going to use the S word because I don't think they are, as long as they're transparent with what you can get and how much you're spending. They have a card in the box that says, review this, post what you got on social media. So I just did what they asked. I bought their boxes, I opened them up and showed you what I got. It's not like I did anything that they didn't ask me to do. So I feel like if people really follow through with what Witter asked them to do and post on social media what they pulled out of the Witter Brick with such low values in some of these boxes, I don't know that that's going to be seen favorably by collectors. The guy in front of me in line, he pulled some pretty low numbers, and he was not happy. I won't get into what he told me, but he was not happy. And I think that's going to be what ends up happening. I don't think it's going to be quite like it was the last time, where everybody was like, they felt like they got something out of the box. They felt like they got some good value. Nobody felt really screwed over. And now you have boxes where people can lose a realistic market value of about 75% from what I've seen, and possibly more. I really don't know. As I said, I like Witter as a company. I really do. They've got good stuff. They're doing some great stuff for the hobby. I just really would like to see them change the Witter Brick the next time so that it will have more of a retained value and fit with what I personally expected to see in something coming out of Witter. Like we saw in the 2024 Witter Brick. As I say in all these kind of videos, is this for me? No. But would I ever tell you not to buy it? Absolutely not. Because you can do whatever you want with your money. If you feel like this kind of gamble is kind of fun for you and you have the extra money and you want to blow it on that, absolutely. You might get something cool, you might not. It's a fun process in opening these kinds of things nonetheless. So I want you to make a decision for yourself, and that's why I post these videos, is so that you can think about what you could potentially get in the box, see the risks and rewards and weigh those for yourself, and really assess whether it's right for you and your hard-earned money. But I always tell people, remember, you can always spend that money on a coin you actually like, know what you're getting at a price that you want to buy it at, and you didn't lose anything in that process if you bought it right. So if this video helped you out in thinking about the Witter Brick and other mystery pull boxes and stuff like that, and really helped you to assess whether it's right for you, I would greatly appreciate a like. Also, if you want to see more videos like this or on other numismatic topics where I try to provide accurate information about coins in an age of misinformation about them, be sure to hit the subscribe and notifications buttons below so you'll be notified when I post new content. Thanks for watching this ridiculously long video, and have a great day.